Hey guys, let's jump right in. Last time we left off, we were reviewing your floor plan, and let's just go through it again real quick. We had this sort of kitchen design, and as you might recall, we were debating whether or not this window arrangement was really going to work. I was worried about how crowded the back wall was with the amount of glazing and door access we needed, especially for the pantry here as well. And it sounds like you guys were also having second thoughts about the pantry, perhaps. I've got a big reveal for you towards the end of the video here, but we also left off just briefly looking at this very rough model. And I told you when we met last time, it really wasn't ready. Like I hadn't even really filled out the back yet with all that glass. But we were really looking at this in terms of could the roof deck be in the scope of work? And you've indicated that unfortunately the added budget to include this just isn't there right now, which is a shame, but we've got to move forward. The existing roof, again, is this big sort of gable roof here. So we need to do something, right? If we're putting the master suite over here, we've got to have some nice windows. So let's come look at a couple other options. So again, this was the old prelim model. Let's take a look at what is really meant to be your first model. So this is meant to be giving a little more context. Here's that gorgeous lake that we've just got to open up the views onto. But this is the existing house, right, with the existing covered balcony, and you know how low this is, and I know we've talked about this, and we want to talk about this again. But we've got the existing house. We're not really expanding the footprint of this much. We're really treating this more of as an interior remodel, but no glass facing the lake. It's a real shame. All right, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our first view of the exterior model. Now we're going to back up down the street here. So this is coming down your street, coming around the corner here. And I think it's looking gorgeous. As we've talked about, given your budget constraints, I am proposing to try to be a little more light-handed with the exterior revisions, the exterior material palette change. Of course, it would be amazing to come in here and do all new stucco throughout, super smooth coat, but that's going to cost a lot of money. And I think this existing brick that you have here, it's got some character to it, so why not consider just painting that perhaps? Um, and again, that might not suit you guys, that might not suit your palate, but it's worth thinking about. But let's get back into it because I think what we really want to look at is sort of some of the topics that we talked about based on that prelim model. So I've beefed up the front porch presence here to tie in better with what is now just the existing front balcony. We're not doing that additional deck here, but you can see I have drastically altered the existing roof here by demoing this roof still and coming in with a new low slope roof, 3 and 12 pitch, which is the lowest this could go and still be the same roofing as the rest of the home. That's going to get us the taller windows, the tallest windows we can have inside of your new master suite here. I think it looks great. I think this is very compelling. I know you love the stained grade wood, and although this is certainly more expensive than a paint grade option, I felt like if we're going to introduce it here, why not consider introducing it up here at the redone balcony? Your existing rail isn't tall enough, so that's got to come up anyways. We've talked a few times now about why I think this roof is worth taking off. Now, I know you mentioned privacy concerns before, but I really don't share the concerns unless, and of course, let me come back out to the house again and get another view for myself out here. But I think standing on the balcony looking out, I feel like this is doing more to block off your access to the cloudy sky and the trees than it is really protecting you from privacy, especially when we're down at the street level, you know. We can talk about building up this balcony height to be a bit taller as a solid rail instead of opening up here, which we're allowed to do per code as long as this top line is at 42 inches above the balcony. You know, but I don't think it's going to do much more for your privacy. Sure, you're getting glimpses of the windows here for the master bedroom, and I'm actually floating a little bit higher than eye level. I mean, this is more like eye level. You see this lady here, her eyes are now more or less at the horizon. And I don't know, but I can't even tell that I have these bits of furniture up here, you know? But, you know, it's up to you. Again, it's your final call. But let's explore it a bit more. All right, let's move on because I think there are other exciting things to see here. Um, I like this new entry feature. You know, I like doubling up the columns. I think doing so says to me, why not try and do something a little more articulate? You know, with these wrought iron accents. I don't think these are necessary. I don't think the structural engineer would make much use of them, but I'll try. I'll talk to them about it. Maybe it could serve a purpose, but I think it's an interesting look. Maybe a bit too Western for your taste, and maybe certainly with this sort of wood look up here, which maybe looks a bit too much like pallets right now. Maybe that's too much, but you know, we can change that. So let's come in here real quick and think about. I think this should be its own group. Bear with me. Can we hide that? Yeah. So I mean, just if it's all white, I think. And again, we can articulate this. It wouldn't be one completely unbroken plane. It's got to be something, but. You know, that could be okay too. Actually, let's come back in here, see if I can't just paint the thing white. Doesn't always cooperate, but let's give it a try. There we go. Still, maybe it needs some work, but the big question I'd want to talk about, especially for structural and moving forward, is are we redoing this covered balcony or not? We've also got the garage door in here, the one that you guys said you liked from Clope. Excuse me. I think it looks pretty nice. New roofing. Getting back to the material palette. So I am showing all stucco up here at the second floor to try and match the work being done for the ground floor, but you know, there's more of an expense for that. Let's take a look at the side yard here. So, you know, moving on to the deck, I think this is a worthwhile second place. You know, of course, I love the deck. I think looking out at the lake beyond would be just phenomenal. But knowing that that's outside of your budget, I think this is a more affordable option, but still gets us a huge impact inside your new master suite. And I know the swings are going to be missed, so I thought, hey, why not turn that into a bit of a landscape feature? I know I'm not doing landscape design for you guys right now, but I thought, you know, it could be a really cool thing, and it just is a great excuse to string some lights around here. I think that would just be really, really fun. But we can talk more about that. But you know, here's your 3 windows into your master suite, 2 windows now into the master bath instead of the 2. We'll talk about privacy here as well in a bit. A whole new window package. We've got these large metal awnings at the south-facing side of the building to sort of protect us from the sun as the sun tracks across the sky. Your southern exposure is what gets beat the most by the sun. But that's okay as long as we attach some awnings to protect you, protect your interior spaces. We'll let the winter sun in to warm up your spaces, but we'll keep the harsh summer sun out. I mean, I think this is a pretty dramatic looking backyard. I'm tying all the windows together with these little blue accent panels. Maybe they're just painted stucco. Maybe it's stucco but of a different finish. Like maybe this is where we pay extra go with the ultra smooth stucco, or it could even be a fiber cement panel. But I think putting this element in ties the windows together nicely. More so, oops, excuse me, bring that back. More so than for example, if we omit that. Now, maybe the blue isn't exactly your color, but I think you might agree that without that element, it just feels pretty standard, pretty builder basic. This is a nice little trick without too much added expense to just spruce up the elevation some. And maybe the blue isn't exactly your color. I mean, obviously we can play around with that. Here's an option for green, just as an example, or an orange to maybe pick up the color of your front door that you still like. I like the blue. We'll stick with the blue for now. Let's move on here. So I know, again, landscape's a little bit out of my scope of work here, but just I think, building in a built-in barbecue space, covered or otherwise, would just be phenomenal. I mean, what a commanding view of the lake, right off of the backyard access door between the kitchen and the dining room. I mean, come on, how killer is that? But I think speaking of the interior, I think it'd be worth talking about the downstairs kitchen area. So let's take a step out of the model. Let's go back to the previous floor plan. So this was the floor plan that we were looking at previously, and I know we iterated on this a lot, and we liked it, but it had its drawbacks. I thought this island was just way too tight to the rest of the counters, and I know this was driven more by your desire for this space to be close to your work area. It's much tighter than I would otherwise like. And again, with all these openings, I don't know if you noticed, but this back wall is kind of missing that pantry door. And that's because I think we should change the plan around. I think we should take a look and consider, at the very least, a new plan that looks something more like this. So all the other exterior changes we saw were incorporated. Here's that front porch that we've been talking about. Here's the side yard. There's that barbecue zone. But I've decided to consider moving the pantry from this back area to this inside space instead. What was previously the refrigerator area. So this is a phenomenally more open kitchen. So much more open. Look at the breathing room that you guys have to work inside of here. Now, I know, again, there's the comment before about wanting the island to be very, very close to the counters. So that's a concern of mine that you might not go for this, that the island is now this peninsula zone, that might be too far away, that you might want your friends or your guests to be sitting really tight inside the kitchen. If that's the case, I think this could be a simple piece of furniture. You've got room to put a nice farm table in here to go with that sort of farm aesthetic that you're considering. Or it could be a mobile cart. Maybe it's a mobile cart that lives and can move here to act as your chopping surface or your prep area. And maybe it wheels and stores inside the pantry here, or maybe it stows underneath the peninsula here. But I think this is really worthwhile. I think there are immense trade-offs. Getting that pantry door off this back wall allows for the much broader windows that I know you really wanted at your kitchen sink. It allows for a really wide sliding glass door that has plenty of breathing room on either side, as you may have picked up on the interior model. The dining area has so much more breathing room now. I mean, this thing was really, really cramped in here. Actually, I had plenty of room over here. Maybe a bit of dead space. Now I feel like it just proportionally feels a lot nicer. There's still a good path through from the mudroom to the outdoors or to the other spaces without interfering with a group of guests or family members sitting here, participating in what's going on inside the kitchen zone, but also being able to swivel in their chair to participate with what's going on in the dining room. I feel like this is just a great sort of in-between spot for the two zones. And then the family room benefits as well. This dining room is shifted up a bit. I still have a well-defined area to do something, maybe to play around with the ceiling heights or to break up the ceiling zone for the dining room, especially to makes sense to center a pendant. But the family room's got more breathing room as well. You can see the furniture came off the wall a little bit. But let's take a look at this. While I was doing this 3D model, I kind of jumped the gun a bit and I started really messing around with what's going on inside. So let's approach this sliding glass door and let's take a quick step inside and take a look at what this latest kitchen might look like. Here is the sliding barn door that leads to the mudroom. There's the garage door access. Here is what could be the pantry column. And I say pantry column, I think it'd be great to clad the pantry in the same material as what is happening at the refrigerator column, and maybe the built-in microwave wall oven column here as well. Give this volume sort of an accent in the kitchen. But here's the peninsula with friends sitting right here, really engaged with what's going on in this amazingly spacious kitchen. I mean, we've got here about 11 feet face to face on these between the cabinets. That's unreal. I had some preset designs here or preset views. Let's go back to those. Not having the pantry where the back here, pushing the kitchen wall to range all the way back to this back wall. Now it starts to make sense to maybe start considering vaulting part of the kitchen at least. I'm still, again, it's premature. This is not resolved in my mind. It might be fine. It might be the best we can do. I think it might be worth studying some more. But what I love about vaulting the ceiling in this area, at least, again, I'm not convinced. This isn't great. This is the second floor above, right? This is your son's room right now, so we can't go too far over with this. But it's really nice to have a skylight right there at this very wide bank of windows. I know you want a lot of height here, and maybe we still work with the structural engineer to omit the structural header here and raise this up. Seeing this, I do agree. I think it's a shame to break this line, this almost unbroken line that hovers at about 6 foot 8 inches off the floor. These doors, sliding glass doors, this swinging door comes standard at heights of 6 foot 8 inches. Maybe some make 7 foot. Maybe we'll do that instead. Others are made at 8 foot, but putting the skylight here does allow us to do quite a lot of blue sky coming in. But again, I'll look at raising this up. So let's take a look here at the view from the kitchen. Just check that out. Look at all this glass. That's great, isn't it? Let's move into the dining space. Plenty of glass here too. Get a hint of the living room right here. I think this furniture piece feels a bit tall. I know it's still on the table whether or not you guys are going to raise up the sunken floor here at the living room. And I understand the desire to have this be continuous, but again, the one sort of benefit of being able to lower or having a lower floor is that the furniture is a bit lower and gives just a little bit more uninterrupted view of the lake beyond. I would never suggest a sunken floor for anybody besides those who have a view worth looking out beyond, looking over this seating zone. So again, I know you're probably leaning very heavily towards going with the one single floor height, raising the floor, lowering the effective ceiling height here, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. You still will wind up with that standard 8 foot ceiling height. Those very standard up till about the 90s, I think. And depending on what furniture you guys really get here, you're still going to have commanding views beyond. Absolutely amazing. All right, so here's the view looking over the living room furniture. So we've got these casement windows that meet at the corner that would both open up. I think actually I might even change the way these swing so that they hinge here, and they swing out and open, just leaving nothing but the post there. But I think some proper landscaping here. I don't want to say this view of the parking lot and the lake is hyper accurate. I don't know if the parking lots are really that prevalent from your backyard, and you could certainly step out there and check. But certainly doing some large oleanders back here, some very large dense bushes could help provide and screen some privacy from this parking area next to the lake. But then check it out, right out this swinging door. Just come right out here. Three swings. I know we talked about two swings upstairs by the balcony, but now I'm thinking with it being down here and so accessible, it makes sense to make it a party of three. And certainly, I know Lincoln's going to want uh, to to flank to flank you guys while you guys are sitting out here enjoying this. Look how special this is. String lights overhead will just make this just so phenomenal. Again, landscape and fencing isn't really part of this right now, but I just figured it might be nice to at least open up the fence area with some sort of accent design just at this wing. Should you go with this, it'd be nice to sort of just open that up and let the views come through a bit more while not too negatively impacting your privacy, really. But again, maybe you want it to be a bit more private. We can certainly discuss that. But hey, let's take a look at going upstairs now. So let's go to the master bedroom entry here. And I just want to talk about, again, the trade-off. We're going to revisit whether or not we demo the old roof or we go with this new low slope roof. And so, here is a very rough mock-up of what the view would be like of the lake with that shed roof. Now, if we turn on the existing roof that's over your living room now, it's cutting off the windows all the way to this point. So we could still keep this window here, but if we stood over here, and you're getting a glimpse of the lake. There's no doubt about it. There's the lake, but I mean, you're really cutting it off. It's not nearly as special. There's room to grow it a little bit more to the right here, but to me, I think given that you got this home after such a unique story of fighting hard for it, I can't imagine doing anything but lowering that roof and opening up a window here. And even this, I would love again to take this all the way down to the floor out onto that deck. I mean, oh man. But there's nothing precluding you from doing that. This is a nice wide opening. Should budget become available in a year or two, or a few years down the road, or when you're ready to tackle it, that deck could always be done. You'll just be touching the ceiling finishes in the living room again. But you could definitely take this window and turn it into an a tall, extra wide sliding glass door. But let's check out a couple other features. I want to show you, because I know we were talking about it. Should we go with that alternate bathroom layout? We decided to stick with the original design, and I just want to show you, you've been very patient. I want to show you what that kind of looks like here. So, here is that glimpse of that floor to ceiling almost frosted glass enclosure with a frosted glass door that opens into the toilet area. Now, how frosted this gets and how much we can see in here, I don't know if you can make out this guy in here. We can talk about that. There's different levels of sanding, but then that's the same frosted glass maybe, or maybe this is it changes to clear glass at a certain point, but this leads into the shower area, and I really just think that's going to be a really fun design here, really special. And let's see here. Let's check out the master bath. So putting big windows into your bathroom at this area with that parking lot beyond, I think we can mitigate that with these bottom-up Roman shades. I think that's really helpful. You come in here and you want to be taking a soak, just raise the shades up to whatever level you feel comfortable with, but you still get views of the trees, the foliage, the blue sky. The lower you go, maybe you start losing the trees, but still clouds beyond. What a serene spot to be taking a bath. And when you're not taking a bath and you're just coming in here to use the sink, or brush your teeth in the morning, have the shades down and look at that view. Breathtaking. And again, this is all just very quick pass. This is not meant to be the interior design. This was just, I thought you guys deserved this proof of concept for the this bathroom. Pretty special, guys. All right. Well, I know that we are going to have plenty to talk about at our next meeting. Let's go ahead and get that. Well, actually, no, it's on the books already, isn't it? So I will see you guys at our meeting. Thank you very much.